time like the present than to do this week's video on Memorial Day, because we had a super busy weekend. And yeah, so we're going to Home Depot right now, and my wife's car is going to drive me because that's what it does, and it's awesome. If you're not a Tesla person yet, man, you gotta try this out. So this week I want to talk a little bit about like our event schedule. So we've been trying some new events this year, and we had to call some off because like last season we definitely tried some new stuff. Like you got to keep like fishing in new spots, if you will, and I think that's super important. But you know, when we looked at like the analytics afterwards, you know, like this isn't a charity and this isn't like for the love of the game. Like we still have to make money in order for things to keep growing and to keep succeeding. And as much fun as I had in a lot of those stops last year that we're not going to be at this year, most of the time it was a barely break even, if not a loss, on going, you know, 3 hours. It just doesn't make sense, especially now. Like gas is, you know, almost twice as much as it was, you know, a year ago. So I was really excited. I got it for $3.93 yesterday. So that's, under $4. How exciting. But yeah, so we kind of called some of those off. And so this year we have some new events that are closer to home. And I definitely would say like they're bigger events because, again, not driving, just making sure, because you're still supposed to like, you know, be monitoring. We had the opportunity to like, you know, pick up some good ones, or so, you know, like on paper, they look like good ones. And I think our reputation has built us into a position where we could do that. Like we could get into ones that probably we wouldn't have had much business at before. And so we're not really chasing events in the regard like we used to, where we're cold calling and trying to like get into anywhere that'll take us, because now I think we have a name that's out there that people are catching on. And so I say all that because this weekend we went to Farmington, Missouri. And so Farmington hosts, this is the 15th year it's hosted a PRCA event. And this is big in a couple different regards. Not only is it like close to home and we should protect and defend, it was the first time we went south of 44 for a rodeo, like Interstate 44 here in Missouri. And then also, it was the first time we had been at a PRCA. So like PRCA, for people that don't know, is the tour that qualifies you, like you run the PRCA Pro Tour, and that's how you would qualify for the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas. And so, you know, these are like top tier, you know, rodeo athletes that are running all over the country, top tier stock. So like your rough stock horses and bulls are, you know, creme de la creme. Like we had 2 bulls at the event on Friday night that are more than likely Las Vegas bound. One of them has only been ridden twice. So awesome event, you know. So we had a mixed bag. Like it rained pretty consistently on Friday, and yet there was still a good crowd, but it didn't really slow us down any. And I think, you know, this is like a best practice kind of like this weekend. We got there, I got there pretty early, like 2 o'clock. I was one of the first vendors there, and that was, you know, I like being early, but I don't need to be crazy early. It was just everybody else was late, I think. But I showed up and we got things set up, and, you know, to the point where I was like, man, this was a really good, smooth setup. Zach had, you know, Zach showed up and busted his butt like usual. And everything about the weekend went phenomenal from there. So like we had, you know, we always show up looking pretty bummy because, you know, we have a lot of manual labor to do to get tents set up and get our inventory out. And then we change, you know, like after we get done with the hard work. And so, I mean, it wasn't like 5 minutes after we got changed and got back up to the tent that we had like radio interviews lined up. The rodeo had like really done a good job for me. They didn't have to, because nobody else seemed to have done this to this point, but like they had really, not only were they promoting the rodeo, they were promoting us coming. And so when you have like media that you have to do, and then a line of people that really started to like steadily go from there, even in the rain. It was just like, oh, not only were we welcome there, but like they were excited to have us there. We weren't just another vendor that was paying a fee to be there. Like they went out of their way to make sure that like we were a part of the show that night, and it was awesome. Like we had such a good time. Then Saturday rolled around, and Saturday night, I don't think we came up for air very much. Like the rodeo got over by 10 o'clock, and most vendors were gone and out of there. I didn't leave the grounds until 12 because we had still people in line getting hats shaved at like 11:15. And so I think that's just a testament of what we're doing as a brand and how far we've come. Like we're not just showing up places versus people are excited to see us, and they've built around being able to like have us come to their area and shape a hat. I mean, you know, like I said, it's super, like, it's definitely the best practice for sure. But like the other part of this is like the overwhelming support. I know 2 years ago when we were first starting out, we started carrying bigger hats, and as you guys, you know, may or may not know, and you'll hear about in the weeks to come, like Jeff has become a really big fan of what we're trying to do, and vice versa. Like I really enjoy the brand and the guys there, and we definitely make sure that people hear about bigger hats. Like it's just a brand. By the way, we're stopped and still no hands. Home Depot day to get parts for the steamers, and I bought, our first order was 36 straw hats from Jeff, and I was so scared that they were never going to sell. And there was, you know, that was the minimum to get in the door as a new account, and I just didn't know what to expect. And those 36 hats, I think, lasted me the rest of that summer. I think we got them in like June maybe, and they lasted me through the summer, and we had a couple few left over, but it wasn't really a big deal. And last year we upped the amount, like the last, you know, this weekend we sold more in 2 nights than we did that whole first summer. So it's just how far we've come, and people know who we are and the testimony that we're putting behind the products we carry, and it's holding up. Like, you know, so it's twofold. Like we have to do our part to shape the hats, which by the way, like Zach is turning into a really good shaper. Like I wasn't with him last weekend when I was in Northern California when he and Kaylee worked in Salem to see kind of what they were doing. But like to see Kaylee had a hat that was left over from Salem that just wasn't working out for the customer, and we didn't want to force them into something. And that sold almost immediately and looked really good. And just watching Zach and how he's like doing when it comes to shaping and how he's, you know, dealing with customers, like it's really a full circle moment. Like to find a good hat shaper's hard. And so, especially in this part of the country, you have to grow your own a little bit. And so, and, you know, it's not like proud dad moment. I'm not like emotionally moved to see them do that, but it's just like, again, like a testament to what we're doing. Like it just builds back to the brand. So, yeah, we're doing what we said we were going to do. You know, money where your mouth is. Like we talk a big game, but we're backing it up. And I just think the days of us cold calling anybody, everybody to get in the door are over. You know, like if you don't see the value in us being there, then we don't want to be there. And, you know, I think that'll even be in the coming years, you know, with the storefront opening and stuff. We're not going to stop traveling by any means. Like we have that opportunity, but I think that we have also the opportunity to be a little bit more selective about where we go. But we'll always, you know, protect our home turf too. So anyway, Memorial Day, lots to do today. We have some maintenance to do on steamers. We had a pump go out on one of them, and we're going to replumb some stuff. A lot of accounting work to do today. I guess you should reconcile your own books, not just your other job's books on the regular. It's fine. It's fine. And we've already started cranking out orders. Hillsboro in 3 weeks, Hillsboro, Missouri. We're coming next week, next Sunday. We are going to, I say we, so Danny Downs, who helps us out, is a younger guy, and myself will make the pilgrimage up to Calgary. And so we're going to start kind of prepping the town for the Stampede and see what we can do up there. So stay tuned. You probably will get like some sort of midweek or, you know, Monday next week type video. But yeah, all right, have a good Memorial Day week. We'll see you guys next week and some more updates to come.